So welcome to my green kitchen. I did a video the other day about how I make my salad. So what I decided to do was to try to break it down into small components of what I do. One of the things that somebody asked was, so what I'm going to show you is, I already started but I put it back together, but I'll show you how I do it. I cut off the hard ends, so I'll cut that off. And then I go to that side and there's that hard end, and I'll try to get close to it, and I cut that off. So now I can stand up my kiwi, whatever I'm going to do with it, which is great when you're cutting other kinds of vegetables and fruits. But in this case, what I want to do is I want to take this skin off. I'm going to eat it actually because it is organic, but some people don't want to eat their skin. So I'm going to take this tip of this regular teaspoon that I have in the kitchen, and I'm going to push it underneath the skin, just so that it's touching the top of the skin with the back of the spoon. And then I'm going to, with this hand, I'm going to start spinning it around. As with this hand, I'm pushing it that way. So opposite directions that I'm pushing. So I've got the spoon under there, and as I'm pushing it and rotating it, I'm trying to get this tip of the spoon up to the edge and scrape. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm also going to try and move it this way forward so that I can get a bigger area taken care of at one time. So that's what I'm going to do. If the kiwi is not very ripe, this is not going to work for you because the skin will be bound too tightly onto the kiwi itself. But this works for a really good ripe kiwi. And as you can see, it's already going. I don't know if you can see the back of my spoon up against the skin there, but that's how close I'm getting. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. And as I'm going, I'm rotating and I'm trying to push up and trying to push up. And if it breaks like that, I can just go back in and push it. And if it keeps breaking like that, I might turn it this way and do it, or I might continue this way. You just have to figure it out. And every time you do one, it's going to get easier and easier. So I just keep rotating and going along, and as you can see, it's breaking loose. And if I can't get that one spot, I'm not going to worry about it because I can always scrape it off with my knife. I'm doing this very slowly. It doesn't take as long as this for me to do it, but I'm just trying to illustrate it for you. So there you go. You can see how that skin just came right off the kiwi, and you can always just take your spoon and scrape it off, or you can take your knife and scrape it off too. And this is if you don't want to eat any of the skin. I do eat the skin because I get organic kiwis. And then I'm not a professional chef or cutter, but you take your two fingers like they're rabbit ears and the rest of them grab from behind, and you want to cut with that blade up against your knuckles so that you don't hurt yourself. Now this isn't the way you would want to hold it at first because it's too round and soft, and it'll slide and the knife will slip. So what you want to do is cut it in half, and now the flat side of the kiwi can be flat down on the cutting board. And now the kiwi won't move around, and you're going to hold the knife over here like this. And as you cut, you're leaning up against the back of your knuckles and you're moving them backwards as you go. And now it's starting to become unstable, so I'm going to let it lay flat, and I'm going to do it again. So we can do that one more time. Remember, having a flat edge laying down, it's more sturdy and stable than if you were trying to cut something rolling around like that. Two rabbit ears like that, and the three fingers to stabilize behind. And then I just cut, and I'm moving backwards, and I'm moving backwards as I go. And now it's starting to become a little unstable. So I want to turn it over, and now it's flat again and stable, and I can continue cutting. And if I want to, I can always group those cut pieces, and I can cut them into smaller pieces. When I make a salad, I like to cut the kiwi up into smaller pieces because then I can distribute that sweet, tart deliciousness all throughout the salad. So again, I can just take these things that I grouped together and I can just cut them a couple of times. And now I usually make 2 salads at a time because I make one for me and one for Rick. And I'll just take those, scoop them up on the knife, and I'll take those kiwis and I'll sprinkle them on top of my salad like that. And then if you care to try it, you can eat, like I said, I took the little hard pieces off, but you can eat the skin. So I'll just take this skin and I'll cut it up into smaller pieces. And what's really nice is that there's extra kiwi goodness in there that you wouldn't normally get to eat, but because you're cutting it up, and sometimes I'll cut it like this, just so I can make it into smaller pieces, and then that fuzzy texture gets lost into the salad because I'm putting it in the salad and I'm gonna have dressing in there, I'm gonna have other things in the salad that I'm not gonna notice those little pieces of kiwi. And then at the little end even, where that hard part is, I can just cut around it if I really want to get the rest of the kiwi out. And then I won't eat this and I can just compost that. So I can just cut around the hard end like that and maybe cut it a little bit more, and then I can take all that and scoop it into the salad. So that's how I peel my kiwi and put it in my salad. And I did have that video on my playlist of what Amy eats if you want to check out how I make the whole salad. And I hope that this tip about how to peel a kiwi helped you. And I hope that you'll be staying tuned and seeing other things that I do with tips and tricks and hacks in how I cook. I make this big green salad every day. I make one for me and one for Rick. And I hope that you do too, because it's really important to eat a lot of greens and beans and mushrooms and seeds and all kinds of wonderful fresh things every day. So eat a big salad every day. And remember, until I see you again, be strong, be well, and be green. Bye-bye.